What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. New news just dropped of the upcoming Go Battle League season, the World of Wonders update. It's currently February 28th, and the news just dropped earlier this morning. I was out running some errands, and now we're going to go over everything you need to know for this upcoming season of the Go Battle League and what it is going to entail, and we're just going to get straight into the meat and potatoes. Let me get more centered onto the little camera. And this is going to be the Go Battle League World of Wonders update. Can you name the 7 natural wonders of the world, or the 7 wonders of the world? Let me know in the comment section below. But the World of Wonders is almost here. Usually they're going to take you through a lot of the different leagues and such, and how the season is going to pan out in these earlier notes. So we've got Great League, we've got Electric Cup, Ultra League, Spring Cup. Spring Cup, is that new? I don't even remember. Master League, just kind of taking through all the leagues. But what's more important here is, look at this, 4 times Stardust from win rewards for multiple of these league rotations. 4 times Stardust. So if you're someone that maybe plays the Go Battle League sparingly, maybe you have friends that are looking to get into the Go Battle League, or maybe you have a friend that doesn't really play PvP but is looking to get more Stardust, might be a good time to encourage them. Hey, you can get increased Stardust during certain weeks of the Go Battle League. Ultra League, Jungle Cup, Great League, Master League, Jungle Cup, Great League, more Stardust, all 3 leagues. I think it's great when they do all 3 leagues, so you have the opportunity to choose which one you like best. I'm more of a Great League guy. Some people prefer Master League. That's the thing with this game. You got stuff for everybody, and more Stardust, Catch Cup, Little League, Little Edition, Catch Cup, Great League Edition to end the season as per usual. So nothing too crazy there. But look at this. Go Battle Weekend World of Wonders. Saturday, May 4th. Ooh, that's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. To Sunday, May 5th. I think that's also the weekend of the Indianapolis Regional Tournament. Bonuses 4 times Stardust from win rewards. This does not include end of set rewards. The maximum number of sets you can play per day will be increased from 5 to 20 for a total of 100 battles. So Go Battle Weekend. Let's go, baby. 2024 Pokemon Europe International Championship bonus. Okay, what is this? April 3rd to midnight, Sunday, April 7th. Maximum number of sets you can play per day will be increased from 5 to 10 for a total of 50 battles. Wow, that's pretty cool. So promoting PvP during the European International Championships, which, by the way, announcement if you haven't heard, I'm going. I'm competing in London. See you there. If anyone wants to say hi, I would very much enjoy that. Go Battle League World of Wonders reward. Some stuff you can expect to get, and these are all pretty standard, but Gumi here, going to be a little bit better this season. We'll come to that later on. If you're may lucky, you get some shiny of these Pokemon. Yada, yada, yada. Let's see. Go Battle League time research. Avatar items. Okay. Okay. Is this the new pose? The new legend pose? Hala style pose? Is this like supposed to be Hawaii? Hawaii. I don't know. Is it supposed to be Hawaii? It kind of seems like it to me, but maybe I'm just being ignorant. All inspired by Hala Kahuna of Mele Island from the Pokemon Sun and Moon video games. Maybe it's not, because isn't there a separate region that's supposed to be based off of Hawaii? Educate me in the comment section below. My bad. This is where Rise becomes a little bit of a noob with Pokemon lore, and like, this language looks Hawaiian to me, but I could be totally wrong about that. Obviously, in Hawaii, like, English is the primary language, but they do have their own Hawaiian alphabet and such. Cups. You can look forward to the following cups this season. Spring Cup was the interesting one. I think everything else was pretty standard. Pokemon must be at or below 1500 CP to enter. Only Mantine and Toxapex will be banned. Okay. Which makes sense. If it's Water, Grass, and Fairy, I mean, Toxapex really just core breaks Water, Grass, and Fairy. So that makes a lot of sense. Tentacruel seems like it could be pretty nasty in this cup. And Mantine is banned. Let's see. Jungle Cup. Gligar going to be banned. Interesting. And G-Fisk is banned. G-Fisk hasn't seen a ton of play lately, so interesting that G-Fisk is banned. Let's see. Great League Remix. Following Pokemon will not be allowed, so just basically Great League, but the most common Pokemon won't be allowed, which is always kind of fun to mix it up. Catch Cup, World of Wonders. And here is the big stuff. New attacks that are being added to the game, and also new Pokemon that are getting new moves added to them, which could really change the meta. So this is kind of a separate section, and this is what everybody, I think, is always excited for at the start of a new season. New attacks. Metal Sound, a fast attack, so a fast move. And, you know, there aren't too many great steel fast attacks, so this could be quite interesting. Trainer battles 3 power, gyms and raids 6 power, so 3 power isn't that much. So it'll be interesting if this is something like a water gun clone, like a 1-turn fast attack, or if this is more of like a high energy generation move with 3 base power. Trainer battles, yeah, 3 power. And these are Pokemon that are going to get it. So, I mean, Magnezone already knows Volt Switch, which is a very good fast move in my opinion. So I don't see it impacting that. But we've been featuring this young fella, this old man. What am I talking about? Bronzong on the channel. Bronzong with a better fast move than Confusion could be quite interesting. Same thing with Wormadam Trash. Wormadam Trash, not that bad of a Pokemon. It's quite bulky if you have one, and it has access to Iron Head and Bug Buzz typically, so this could be interesting. Metal Sound, something to look out how good of a fast move it's going to be, and is, of course, going to be really good against things like Carbink and other things that are weak to Steel. Psy-Wave, fast attack. Trainer battles 3 power. So once again, we're going to have to wait for more information on some of these fast moves to see how good they are. But Malamar with Psy-Wave could be quite interesting depending how good it is. Because Malamar with that dark psychic combination, if you're able to get a bit of a stronger fast move with that same type attack bonus psychic typing, I feel like Malamar could suddenly become a little bit more dangerous in the meta. Mr. Mime, Lunatone, Solrock. None of these Pokemon really are a threat in the meta right now. I don't expect that to change too much, but you never know. Psy-Wave, always cool to add more moves to the game. Sand Attack, a fast attack. Trainer battles 2 power. So if it's only 2 power, it has to be a big energy generation move. And I don't know how big of a deal this is going to be personally, because most of these Pokemon already know Mud Shot that are getting this, or at least quite a few of them. So I don't expect like Sand Slash to really change much, considering it already knows Mud Shot, which is just such a good energy generation fast move. But you have some other things here that could benefit. Hippowdon really just runs the elemental fangs, like Ice Fang, Fire Fang, Thunder Fang. So a solid energy generation fast move, Sand Attack for Hippowdon could be really interesting, because it also has access to Body Slam, and it could really spam off Body Slams quite quickly. So Hippowdon with Sand Attack, once again, we don't know exactly how good this move is going to be. We just know 2 power. Could be quite interesting. Also, Linoone. Linoone has access to Grass Knot and Thunder. I mean, it already has Shadow Claw. Linoone probably benefits more from a charge move than a different fast move. But now we get to the attack changes. First on the list, as Zionic says, the GOAT, Alolan Marowak, one of his favorite Pokemon, it is getting a buff to Shadow Bone. I don't believe there's currently another Pokemon that knows Shadow Bone. I could be wrong about that, but let me know. I think it's just Alolan Marowak, going from 75 base power to 80 base power, so doing a little bit more damage. Very solid. And we're also going to take a look at PvPoke after we go through this and look at how these affect the rankings. But one thing I can do right away is if I go to moves, sometimes you might see these numbers, right, Rise? What does that really mean, 80 base power? Well, I like to, for myself, compare it to certain things. So if we organize these moves by damage, we can scroll down, and we find that Shadow Bone is 75 base damage for 45 energy. And if we were able to compare it to something else, these moves have 80 base damage. So now, all of a sudden, Shadow Bone would be doing the same amount of damage as something like Hydro Cannon, but for 45 energy. So, okay, and then this is a better example. Then Shadowbone becomes a clone of Fly, which is a great move, Dig. Or sorry, not Dig, Drill Run. Except Shadowbone still has a chance for that defense drop. Brick Break. People were hyping up this. I don't love this, in my opinion. Energy cost increased, guaranteed to lower the opposing Pokemon's defense by 1 stage. People were hyping this up like it's a buff. I don't really see it as much of a buff because you're increasing the energy gain. So Brick Break, currently one of the worst charge moves in the game. 40 base damage for 35 energy. We can scroll down and see what other moves are comparable to that. People were saying it's like a Poison Fang clone now, but it's not, because Poison Fang does a little bit more damage. So it's like a worse Poison Fang. It's like a worse Poison Fang. I don't know. I don't really see it as much of a buff, assuming it's going to be 40 energy. It's kind of, okay, maybe it's like a slight buff, I guess. Maybe it's like a slight buff, because guaranteed debuff is pretty significant. So maybe it's a slight buff, but it's already not a good move, and then you're making it more energy as well. So, like, I don't know. It's the same move as Bone Club, which we all know is a really bad move. So Brick Break is interesting. I don't know. I guess at least it spices it up. I might be being a little bit critical of it, but it spices things up. Cross Chop from 50 to 55 power. This is going to be interesante. Cross Chop, let's see. 50 to 55. Wow. And only 35 energy. So 55, 35. It becomes a clone of Weather Ball. Becomes a slightly better move. Still not quite as strong as Body Slam, which I believe is 60 base power, right? Body Slam. Yeah, 60 base power. So Cross Chop becomes a Weather Ball clone. Slight buff to Cross Chop, which could improve things like Obstagoon and Shadow Machamp, of course. Aqua Tail. This one is pretty big. 50 to 55 power. Aqua Tail also becoming like a now Cross Chop clone as well as Weather Ball. And there's quite a few Pokemon that learn Aqua Tail in the meta, like Shadow Dragonair. Things like Gyarados in the Ultra League and the Master League. Palkia, of course, already strong in the Master League. Gonna get that benefit from that Aqua Tail buff. So Aqua Tail, certainly interesting. Vaporeon. You don't really see Vaporeon too much, but that has access to Aqua Tail. Water Pulse, 70 to 80 power and energy cost decrease. This could be pretty significant because Water Pulse, let's see, where are you, Water Pulse? 70 base damage for 60 energy. Pretty rough. Not very good. Not very good. I mean, Rock Tomb is the same stats, and it guarantees to debuff your opponent's attack. So, Water Pulse, not a very good move. It's going to go up to 80 base damage, and the energy is going to decrease. So, some people are speculating it could be a now clone of Dig. 80 base damage and 50 energy. If it's 55, let's see if there's are there any 80-55s? It doesn't look like there's an 80-55, so that is a possibility. If it becomes a clone of Dig, that could be quite significant for Pokemon like Mantine specifically, where Mantine would benefit from having a really solid secondary charge move. Currently, Mantine runs Aerial Ace, Ice Beam most of the time, and Ice Beam's not that bad, but the thing is it doesn't give it great coverage in terms of steel types where it gets walled. So something to look out for. Water Pulse, and now attack availability updates here. These first four, honestly, might be the most significant, and they're all grouped together here. So Goodra learning the charge attack Aqua Tail is going to be good, because before it was just Muddy Water Power Whip, or you ran like Muddy Water Draco Meteor. So Goodra now getting Aqua Tail, a better, more reliable bait move. Pretty solid. And Polion learning the fast attack Steel Wing. Super interesting. Super interesting, because it gets that same type of attack bonus from the Steel Wing, which got buffed last season. Skarmory became top tier meta once again. So, and Polion learning Steel Wing, super interesting. This one might be my favorite of this entire update, is Feraligatr now learning the fast attack Shadow Claw. and we will take a ponder over to these speculative updated Great League rankings. Look at this. Oh, wait. This one. This is the next season. Look at this. Feraligatr, number 9. Shadow Feraligatr, to be precise. Looking at potentially number 9 ranked in the meta. With Shadow Claw, going to pick up so many matchups here. Going to beat Annihilate. Going to beat Shadow Dragonair. What? How does it beat Shadow Dragonair? I guess it gets to 2 before going down? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. It beats Shadow Dragonair in the 1s. It's going to lose in the 2s because the Dragon Breath damage outpaces. But Shadow Claw is such a solid fast move paired with Hydro Cannon, man. That's only 5 Shadow Claws to every Hydro Cannon. That is so fast. And Feraligatr is going to be top tier meta. Has an 1800 stat product, so it's more on the frail side. I think it's pretty similar to Swampert, right? Yeah, so similar stat product to Swampert. So it's going to be definitely on the frail side, but 5 Shadow Claws to Hydro Cannon, man, from a Shadow Feraligatr. Going to be so quick, going to be so threatening, and I think could be one of the top tier Pokemon in this meta. Gallade now will learn the fast attack Psycho Cut. Before, Gallade relied on Confusion as its primary fast move. Now, all of a sudden, Gallade with Psycho Cut gonna get to these hard-hitting charge moves so quickly, and Gallade speculated at number 22 in the Great League rankings. 4 Psycho Cuts per Leaf Blade, 5 Psycho Cuts per close combat. Gallade gonna be able to really threaten with its energy. If you can set up a situation where, like, you soft lose the lead, you farm down with Gallade. Let's take a guess. How much do we think a Leaf Blade from a Shadow Gallade does to a regular Whiscash? 100.5%. It one-shots from full health. It one-shots from full health. So if it's a Shadow, that should mean it does like 125%. Is that right? 120%. Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. Gallade, Empoleon, Feraligatr, Goodra, all going to benefit. And now we get into some more weird ones. So Araquanid now learning the charge attack Water Pulse. Water Pulse getting buffed makes this interesting because now you can run, but now it's like, do you run Bubble Beam Water Pulse or do you run Water Pulse Bug Buzz? Then you don't really have a bait move anymore. I don't know. So this is an interesting one. I don't expect this to really impact Araquanid that much, but I could be wrong because it's still going to struggle against like Gligar, but I guess you give it a harder hitting charge attack with better coverage. So this one's interesting. Now they're adding Brick Break to a lot of these different things. Throw, Sock, Crocodile, Crabrawler, Crabominal, Hakamo. This one is kind of weird because Hakamo already knows Brick Break, so I'm not sure why they added this, if this was just a mistake on their end or if there's like something more to this. But yeah, Hakamo already knows Brick Break, but they put that there for some reason. And then Komodo also going to be learning Brick Break. So very interesting. Another option. And Brick Break now with the guaranteed debuff with a Dragon Tail user. Like, this could be kind of interesting because you get the same type of attack bonus if you're Komodo. And Dragon Tail, as we know, very oppressive fast move in terms of its damage. So debuffing your opponent and then chunking away with Dragon Tail damage could be quite interesting. Now, Diglett, Dugtrio, Graveler, Golem, all learning Mud Shot. This is going to be interesting. Let's see. I think I'm overusing the word interesting. My bad. Let's mix up the vocabulary, Rise. Let's mix up the vocabulary. Graveler, not really in the meta, even with Mud Shot. I guess it just has a bad stat product because, like, this moveset doesn't seem that bad. Moveset doesn't seem that bad, but you see, like, a neutral matchup against Lickitung, it just gets destroyed somehow. So, doesn't look like this will impact Graveler too much. Golem, probably the same deal, even with Mud Shot. And this used to be, like, an unobtainable legacy. So, it is going to be interesting. Oh, I did it again, dude. I did it again. So, as a former sports commentator, one thing you learn is that people have, like, certain words that they fall back on. Like almost like commentator ticks, and saying the word interesting. I wonder if that is a tick that I have. I did notice it just now. I've used that word like at least 5 times so far. We got to stop. If it happens again, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be so mad if I say that word again. We're trying not to use that word. I'm going to look up right now. Let's see. We're going to look up right now. Interesting. Oh, I said it. Synonyms. But that one doesn't really count because I was just reciting what I was typing. It's different. Fascinating, riveting, gripping, compelling, compulsive, spellbinding, captivating, engaging, enthralling. Okay, those are all great words. Let's get back to the action. Starmie will now be able to learn the charge attack Psybeam. I don't think this really does much. Wait, isn't Psybeam like terrible? Isn't Psybeam like a terrible move? Or am I thinking of something else? Psybeam, 70 damage for 60 energy. Blech. Gross. That is not an enthralling update by any means. Curly learning Draining Kiss. Not really a big deal. Lileep will now learn the fast attack Bullet Seed. What does Lileep even know? For its charge moves, is it the same as Credilli or no? Grass Knot, Ancient Power. I guess it's... I guess it could be like somewhat usable if you have a XL Lileep, but probably not too game-changing. And then Gastrodon will now learn the charge attack Earthquake. Honestly, I don't think this matters too much because Gastrodon already going to get solid ground damage from the Mud Slap fast move, so I don't see this impacting much. And there you have it, ladies and gents. Those are all the major updates we're going to be seeing in this upcoming season. Was it maybe a little bit... Here are my overall thoughts on it. Was it maybe a little bit underwhelming? And a lot of us were expecting a Scald nerf because Whiscash is just everywhere right now, and the Scald 50% debuff has been... But one thing I saw someone put out on Twitter, and one thing that I think we should give Niantic credit for is, rather than just nerfing a move that they just buffed last season, just like, oh, we buffed this, it's too good, let's bring it back. They buffed a lot of things that beat Whiscash. They buffed, if we go back to this, look, they buffed Araquanid, just totally walls Whiscash. Gallade with access to Leaf Blade, gonna beat Whiscash. Feraligatr, positive matchup against Whiscash. So, and Goodra as a dragon, I would think it probably beats Whiscash, especially with access to Power Whip, definitely threatens it. So, they buffed a lot of things here that beat Whiscash, rather than simply nerfing the move from Whiscash. I mean, is this going to eliminate Whiscash out of the meta? Absolutely not, in my opinion. But it'll probably slightly reduce its usage because Araquanid more usable. Gallade, I think especially the Shadow variant, going to be more usable. And Shadow Feraligatr might be like top meta. So if you have a Shadow Feraligatr, that is exciting that you're going to get a chance to use that. And if we look at the updated Great League rankings, we see Feraligatr, the biggest winner potentially, number 9. And we'll scroll down and see what else we notice. Mantine, it still has it with Ice Beam as opposed to Water Pulse. Also, Shadow Quag with buff Wakata. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Some of you guys probably commented. Also, Rise, Shadow Quag going to be even better with the buffed Aqua Tail. Very true. Very good point. And Shadow Quag with buffed Aqua Tail. You also, if you're running it in the Go Battle League, are able to really give the surprise factor to your opponents. Are you running Mud Bomb? Are you running Aqua Tail? Do you still have Stone Edge? I think you kind of want to keep Stone Edge for Quag, depending on your team comp, because you don't want to get walled against certain flyers like Pelipper and such, or Mantine, which might see more usage, but can kind of mix it up. Mud Bomb versus Aqua Tail. We scroll down. Empoleon with this Steel Wing. Oh my gosh, dude. And Steel Wing has better energy generation than Waterfall. So it's actually going to be able to still beat certain things like Talonflame and Galarian Stunfisk. Wow, that's actually really impressive. Even with Steel Wing, it still wins, huh? Yeah, because you get to 2 Hydro Cannons before they get to 2 moves. That's kind of insane. How low are you by the time Empoleon wins with a battle rating, ends with 21 HP? I'm actually impressed that Empoleon, like, tanks the damage so well. It's kind of crazy. Incinerate, going to be doing 16.4% per Incinerate. Empoleon, you're impressing me. Somehow loses. Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, you're throwing Steel Wings, and you beat Talonflame, but you, like, lose to Shadow Dragonair? I don't know. Empoleon's a weird one, I guess. Empoleon's a weird one. Going to get totally walled by Lantern. That is just so brutal. But Empoleon is enthralling Gallade. Look at this. Going to hard beat Whiscash. Going to beat a Azumarill. Going to beat Annihilape. And going to be just so dang spammy. 4 Psycho Cuts to a Leaf Blade. Unreal, dude. Unreal. Goodra up to number 25 in the meta. So what was Goodra before? And that can be one last thing we look at before we wrap this video up. Is we look at the current rankings. Like, Goodra was number 99. It jumped up 70 spots or so. Pretty insane. We looked at Empoleon. Empoleon 219. Look at how much these Pokemon are jumping up. Feraligatr was nowhere to be found because Waterfall is just not a great fast move. It's just not a great fast move. Kyogre gets away with it because Kyogre has such an insane stat product. But Waterfall just not a very good fast move. If we want to look at it, Waterfall, what are fast moves here? Waterfall. 12 base damage for 8 energy. So definitely more of a damage output fast move. Is it comparable to something? Like, what is Smackdown? I think that's a clone, right? Yeah, it's a clone of Smackdown. So, like, Smackdown, not a great fast move either, but things like Bastiodon get away with it because Bastiodon's obviously, like, one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the Great League. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much the sum of it, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this brief little breakdown. If you want more information on it, feel free to check out the Pokemon website. This is where I am here, PokemonGoLive.com. You just go to, like, the season update, and it should show up. And, yeah, Hakamo up to number 39. Let's just out of my own curiosity, what was Hakamo before? With this Brick Break. Oh, and now you gotta wonder if things like Vigoroth might want to consider running Brick Break. So, like, what other things have Brick Break? Go-Go, Raichu, of course. Not a whole lot of meta-relevant things with Brick Break. I think Vigoroth probably still going to benefit from Rock Slide, but Brick Break might have some play, especially if you if you can, like, Brick Break, ramp up the counter damage. Going to really help it against things like Red Steel. So we could be seeing more Brick Break action. I've made fun of Brick Break quite a bit in the past. Now might have some credence. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And a new season coming soon. We've got some new content coming soon. Some of that includes a recap of my Knoxville regional and also some new fun challenge type series, just mixing it up a little bit in terms of the normal shoutcasting and gameplay. Also, before I sign off, if you guys want to have a great chance of having your battles featured on the channel, any of these new Pokemon featured in today's video that are getting new updates or moves that got updates, send me those battles once the new season starts. I'll be looking to crank out as many newly updated Pokemon as possible this coming weekend. And I'd appreciate it if you sent those my way. Link Google form in the description of every single video. All that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.